Okay, it's another unboxing. It is the Transformers Studio Series from Transformers the movie, Decepticon Rumble Blue. And as most Transformers fans know, there's been like a mix-up in the colors between what we see on at least the animated G1 series versus what the toys gave us. At least they always designate the blue cassette character as Frenzy and the red and black one as Rumble. But in actuality, it should be the other way around. Anyways, yeah, I've been looking forward to something like this. I haven't had one of these cassette Decepticons in a while, since the original G1 series, pretty much. And I used to have a lot of those. I do sort of regret selling all of my G1 Transformers because I was the original owners of all of them, quite a bit. But at the time, I don't know, I just didn't see the point in holding it because they were just put away for the longest time. Sold them to fund some other things that I found more essential. But in retrospect, I wish if I'd known that things would have grown the way they were with the toys, I probably would have kept them. Anyways, just been rebuying some stuff that's newer, that's just bringing back some of my childhood. So here's the packaging, pretty simple. These are pretty small. I guess you consider these maybe even core series of core class. So those are probably the smallest one. Just like, well, I don't have, well, bring them to the forefront here. Just like the Shockwave here. This is a core class. For its size and everything, it's pretty decent in terms of posability and the details, but there is that wanky thing with the feet when you fold them into the cassette mode. They stick up, like they didn't find a way to fold them flush with the unit. And there are fixes, which is great with the aftermarket brands, or I guess brands that make upgrade parts. You can they do a pretty good job of giving you pieces that can switch out, filling gaps, correct some mistakes or things that weren't that well designed, I think, and really make it a pretty much more a better piece. But I haven't gotten around to doing that. I'm primarily keeping this in robot mode just for my desk, something small, so no big deal. We'll just put him in the kind of in the background here. And he's definitely not, though they're both core class, they're not in scale because obviously Rumble is almost as big as Soundwave over here. Instructions, I can't imagine it being too hard. They never were too difficult. And generally the core class of Transformers are pretty simple. So you get Rumble himself, and let me pause this and cut these out. Okay, so got him out of the packaging, and here he is. I think the coloring is decent for what he is. It looks pretty much like, at least color-wise, Rumble was, though they consider him blue, he always had this kind of purplish tint to him as well on the cartoon. And he comes with a pair of blasters, which you can hold on the hands right here. I believe. Oh, actually no. They can only go on his forearms. I believe in the old toys they had like these kind of these little clips, I guess, that can go over the hands, so he can actually hold them more upright in his hands. But they don't have it on these. And he comes with a set of his famous power drivers, which he uses to shake up the ground. And this is the card backing. At first I thought it was maybe the Space Gate, but now I'm not too sure what this is, or maybe it is partial one. Yeah. Anybody knows what this is from, chime in. And glasses off so I can see better through the camera. pretty good detail. Decepticon logo on the belly. Not much articulation other than knee bend, goes out, pivots a little bit like that, can rotate like that. Feet doesn't have much posability. They kind of go up, but that really doesn't do much. The only thing that was kind of a shame with this is that there's no elbow joints on this guy, so he basically, straight like that, which is not a big deal. It would be, but I would say that the way I plan to pose him, well, let's transform it into cassette mode. It's pretty simple. Usually most reviewers will have gone through this already, but I'm just doing this on the fly so you can see just how long it takes. See, this goes up here, or see the head folds down, and then this goes, I believe, up like this. From what I can tell, I keep these up. Legs go out like that, out. That's kind of a split. And then you bring them up to about here. And then these fold down over like that. And then you just kind of fine tune it by closing things in tighter, and then you flip up the feet. And that's pretty much it. And this is the side that would look more like a cassette. I wonder if people of these generation even know what a micro cassette was. I mean, I grew up when they had these as little recorders, primarily for voice recording, memos, and stuff like that. Otherwise, they used these tapes inside answering machines, and that was before they became digital, and we didn't need the tapes anymore. But yeah, that this must be when I think about it, this must be such a foreign concept to people. I mean, the last time they had micro cassettes, I would say, I mean, when I was working at an electronics store and they actually still sold them, that would have been like mid or early, maybe the late 90s at the latest. And then now it's been 2020, so over 20 years. Quite a time difference. But yeah, this is what people used to use in the 80s, 90s. And so let's turn them back. Pretty simple to transform. Toes out. Flip them. Let's see which side is forward. Not right here. Here's the front. He has this kind of circuitry pattern on the front. Simply bend these arms back down. Flip the head back up. And there you go. And then I would flip the hands out, but I was saying it's too bad his arms don't have elbow joints, but I primarily plan to actually have him pose with his power drivers, just in his famous kind of rock and rumble mode. But these, he always had these on his backpack, as his backpack, I guess. And these should just fit right into, you might have to bend the arms a bit. Let's see here. Yeah. So you just fold those in. And actually, it's not much to it. You just do that and that, supposedly, and then you fit these guys in. I don't suppose, this would probably be the back, because I would put this in the back, since there's like a seam that's more visible on at least one side than the other, and then you just fit them, push them right in like that. And I don't believe, no. Well, do they go up and down? No. You can take them out, but they really don't do much. And I don't think there's any particular way that these are positioned, though. And that's pretty much it. So it's very simple. It's not like the Masterpiece ones or some of the third-party ones where they got way more articulation and even these power drivers can go up and down. But if you don't want to spend the money on those, and the knockoff ones aren't that expensive either, you could probably do that. But I figured this one wasn't that much, and for what I was planning to use them for, which was basically getting down just to do his power driving move pose. That will do. I have to figure out the pose a little bit better perhaps, but he will look something like this. And that's basically it. And sized up next to Soundwave. You know what? In some ways, his scale isn't that terrible compared to Soundwave. I mean, obviously he's not the same size as the cassette that's like inside his chest here. This is how big he probably technically should be in comparison. Although that might even be a little bit small, even for Rumble or even Laserbeak. Well, he might expand a little bit, but that is pretty compact for even for cassette mode. But I think, you know, proportionately, he's not too terrible next to this version of Soundwave. As you see the scale, he still is bigger, and just not maybe this guy's maybe could be about a third smaller in comparison. I figure he'd probably be, he's just up to about his waist right now, but if I think in proportion in this show in robot mode, and he's Soundwave's kind of big when he's in robot mode. Rumble and some of the other cassette ones would probably be somewhere below that level, but it's all right. I think for a simple, not too expensive version of Rumble and even Soundwave, they both cost about the same. Basically under 20 bucks at least, a little bit over 10. I think that'll do. So yeah, not much to it. The quality's okay. I don't think there's anything that's really terribly bad about it, other than yeah, I mean, they did add some detail into these parts that are hollow, though these really should be filled in if that was possible. But if you pose them mostly from the front anyways, like this, you're not going to really see much. Too bad there's no elbow joints, but if you just plan to display him just as like this with his power drivers, then this would probably suit it just fine. Coloring seems pretty decent for what it is. And I think, yeah, it's a, you know, it's a cool addition if you don't have like a little Rumble like this from before, and just to throw one into your collection. So that's it. Simple. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.